So we're now featuring the main race of the whole of Cheltenham. It is the Cheltenham Gold Cup. Obviously, lots of things have changed since last year, where Minella, Indo and a Plutard were well clear, given the fact that Minella Indo's been beat. A Plutard's gone to Haydock and apparently put up the best performance of a Grade 1 winner ever in his life, running in what was effectively a Grade 4 if they'd have ever done it. Then goes and gets beat in the Savile Chase, which we've seen in the past.
Grade 4.
In the Savile Chase. Basically, the picture's changed quite a bit, hasn't it? Given the fact that things over Christmas maybe didn't go as planned. But this is what we expect in a Gold Cup. Like, there are proper horses. It's a very deep division, regardless of which way you want to spin it. There are some proper horses in there. This is always a race that I would rather keep my powder dry till nearer the time, unless I fancy something very early on, and I haven't fancied something very early on. So sort of kind of keeping my powders dry. I'm having one little glance now because Bet365 have gone non-run and no bet, because we know that every year I say Delta Work or I say that Melon at a big price. They're even too big a price at non-run and no bet. I wouldn't have a strong take on it. The only thing I would say is, this isn't again because people have backed anti-players and I'm annoyed with it. I don't really buy into Galvin as a Gold Cup horse myself, but just pure. I don't know, people like horses can regress and do all these different bits and pieces, but the Next Destination and Ascaria 10 National Hunt Chase was not an effort that screamed out to me he's going to win a Gold Cup. You can say what you want about what he's done after, but I think Galvin at 6-1 is a terrible price. But we all remember how much I poo-pooed Presenting Percy in the RSA when he was the most emphatic winner. So probably I've just boosted everyone's chance of a Galvin. But I don't have a strong fancy on anything in here. Jamie, is there anyone you particularly like? And is it Galvin?
No. I back Galvin last year doing the former Dave, obviously. But no, Pluter win.
Nice.
Bad ride by Blackburn last day. The fact of the matter is that fucking Davy Russell said, we got outpaced on the run into the corner. All of a sudden, then came into the fucking straight, and that Blackmore fucked it up. But that's just my opinion. Look, Indo has to be there because what a Gold Cup. But no, it's a Plutarch for me.
Nice. And Darryl, I feel like you might like the reigning Gold Cup champ.
Yeah, I think he's got a bit of value at 8-1, to be honest. I don't think he should be a point shorter than he was last year. I think he's got valid excuses for his 2 runs this term. I think people are far too quick to write him off. He always comes good in the spring. It's a fantastic record at Cheltenham. Obviously, he's beat most of these last year. The Kempton run was all wrong for him. He's 1 for 7 right-handed. They stuck the cheek pieces on first time. I thought that was a ridiculously strange move for Minella Indo, and then he came back to the yard shook apparently. I just think that's well worth writing off. The down Royal run, the time before that, beating 5 lengths by Frodon. For me, he's always been a horse that improves for the run, always. So I think you can forgive those 2 runs. People saying that he's gone and like he's never going to win a Gold Cup again, I think that's just nonsense. I think you can forgive both of those runs. They're both valid reasons. You're not like trying to search for reasons. They come to you quite quickly while he underperformed. So obviously, I'd like to see him go out and run a decent race in his next start, and then I think 8-1's a good bit of value for him to repeat the feat. And to be honest with you, no matter what he does before Cheltenham, he's a different horse at Cheltenham, it seems. So I think he's got a fair chance. I completely disagree with you in terms of Galvin. I think he ticks all the boxes. I don't know what more he could do for you. I really don't. He's gone and won that Savills Chase by a short head, outstayed a Plutard at the finish. I thought Minella Indo outstayed a Plutard last year in the Gold Cup. I do like a Plutard as well. They're the 3 at the top of the market that should be at the top of the market. There is a little thing with this Gold Cup race where usually horses that have run in it the previous year that you kind of have one go at a Gold Cup really. And you don't tend, unless you win it, you don't tend to come back and win it. So Galvin would fit all those sort of statistics from that point of view. He's been rapidly improving all season. He's the right age for the race. I know you said his National Hunt Chase win didn't scream Gold Cup winner, but he's improving significantly. I mean, he was rated 152 or 154 after that National Hunt Chase run, and he's rated around 165 now. So he's improved 11 pounds in 3 runs. He loves Cheltenham. He ticks all the boxes. There's no worries for him. He jumps well. He travels well. He's got a good bit of speed. Like, there's nothing wrong with him at all. And then I suppose if you want to be critical of Minella Indo, you do have to give those runs. He's already beaten the favourite of Plutard. Album Photo, is already held in form lines. And is he the same horse he was? And he's now 10. Protectorat's not going to win. Alaho's not going to go hit. Asterion for Longe ain't going to stay or fall. Champ's not going to go here. Chantry House can't beat him. Fiddler on the Roof, no good. Lost in Translation, not good enough. Shambler will go for a handicap. Castle West, no chance. Anvoy Allen, Janet Deal, Royal Pearl. Where do you want me to start? These horses are not going to beat him. Galvin and Minella Indo, the two to be on for the Gold Cup. Back and both, 6 and 8 to 1. Job done.
Maybe. I definitely do think Minella Indo, if it was gun to head, you've got to have a bet on something now. I think Minella Indo would be the definite bet. I would prefer to not see him run again before Cheltenham, because the cheap pieces were definitely strange, but these were all reasons I think to be against him in the King George. Like you said about the right-handed record, I know it sounds like after timing, but I did say it before. I think there was enough reasons to want to take Minella Indo off. You can't always excuse his run. Forgive his runs without an excuse, Pete. There's something about him that if he runs poor, he hasn't run to his best, which I know sounds stupid, but sometimes horses are just not good enough. They run their best and they get beat. I think Minella Indo is one of these horses you give an excuse to. The fact he came back shit's a bit of a worry, but the cheap pieces, it was definitely bizarre to do it in the King George, but there's obviously something he's doing at home or what's happening where they're having to decide to try it, and I'd much rather than try it in the King George than in the Gold Cup. It'll be more interesting to see whether they keep him on again for the Gold Cup. But I know it's different horses, but Lost in Translation pulled up in that Kempton King George, didn't he, where he just never travelled, never jumped, and then ended up running a monster race to only be beaten length and a quarter behind Album Photo. Minella Indo's run obviously in that King George and been beat. You can just put a line through that. There's plenty of time to come back from it after. Doesn't suit a lot of horses, and in particular, it doesn't necessarily suit a lot of Gold Cup horses. I know we've had Gold Cup winners that have won it, but that's it. And then with the Savills Chase thing as well, Galvin is a different type of recent Savills Chase winner, I think. Don Poley, when you go back to him, like Don Sloan and that sort of stuff, they are proper staying chasers, aren't they? But then you've had things like Outlander, Road to Respect, Kemboy, Delta Worker, Plutard that have won it. And I just think, as much as the Savills Chase is like the Irish equivalent of the King George, although it's probably not quite as good, I don't think. I just don't know whether it is that strong a grade one towards the Gold Cup, but I'm just anti-Galvin, I think, for some weird reason. So my selection, if it stood at this point, was Minella Indo. Daryl, yours is?
At this point now, it's Minella Indo or Galvin. Does no one fancy Tornado Flyer?
I think he just picked up the pieces in the King George, didn't he? Because they went sort of hell to leather. The annoying thing is with him, I don't even know how long ago we did a preview with him when he was going to run in the Marsh, maybe only a couple of years ago, I suppose. But I fancied him as a novice hurdler. I fancied him when he went over fences, and then sort of just left him a little bit this season. But as much as it was a good effort, I just thought it was one of them where he just picked up the pieces. And
he's not bred for 3 miles, is he? He's not bred to be an out-and-out stayer, is he? He's half brother of the Hurricane Fly, isn't he?
I think maybe a Hurricane Fly might be the family. He's definitely not half brother because it's a different mare. Because Hurricane Fly was he's Mucho Macabo. Hurricane Fly was Scandisk. So yeah, it's from the family. I think he must be like an uncle or something. But yeah, I just think he picked up the pieces. We know Kempton's the quickest track, don't we? I'd rather back him at 28-1 for the King George than I would at 8-1 for the Gold Cup.
Extra 2 furlong, stiff track, stronger pace. I don't know if you see it out. Maybe not. I agree. I think he picked up the pieces.
But he wouldn't even be Townend's first choice. Album Photo would be Townend's choice, I would have thought. Even again, I know obviously got to come back and defy some ridiculous stats and stuff, but I'd rather be on Album Photo than Tornado Flyer. Anywho, Daryl, you've had your selection of Minella Indo and potentially Galvin, so you can mention them both. And then Jamie, back to you. You're sticking with a Plutard?
100%.
Boom. Hopefully the best horse in the race does win, but it looks typically like the Gold Cup is never a bad one. This renewal looks just as fascinating. I can see plenty of them coming in there, travelling well.
Cheers.
Good. Yes, we'll do the Mare's Chase. It'll be the next video. There'll be a link. There won't be a link, and don't even Google it. It won't even be on it.